By the end of this video, you'll have a new couple ideas on how to make your music sound better.
Go on. I'm listening.
Because a lot of people hit me up and they're like, yo, I'm scared to play my music for other people. I'm scared of what others got to say about my music because I don't like how my music sounds. Well, if you've ever said any of that, I have a solution for you, or at least something you could try. Because I don't want you to be scared to share your music with the world. So now that I got the trash artists out the way, could you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stick with me to the end? First way to make your music sound better, pick better beats. Use beats of a higher quality. Stop ripping the beats from YouTube, recording to it, and mixing with that same beat. If you really believe in a song and you want your song to sound the best it could possibly be, at least go buy the MP3 or the WAV file, okay? That's gonna give you a higher quality of instrumental to work with, because you have to understand, once a beat is uploaded to YouTube, it is compressed, and then once you rip it from YouTube, it is compressed again. You're going through unnecessary compression and you're lowering the actual quality of the beat. And then for the people that have horrible beat selection, you're putting songs on beats, a beat that doesn't match. That's not gonna mix well. No matter the preset or how well you wrote the song, it's not gonna match. If you're using beats that don't complement your voice, if you're using a BPM that isn't working for you, switch it up. Pick better shit, because at the end of the day, right, before you get to your mixing, before you get to your mastering, okay, you have to pick a beat. Unless you write the song first and pick the beat, you still have to pick a beat. Learn how to pick better beats. Just because you like the beat doesn't mean you can make a song on it. You could, but it doesn't mean the song's gonna be good. I hear a lot of dope ass beats that I would never rap on because I'm like, nah, got too much shit going on in it for me. But you got to have that self-awareness within yourself, and you have to develop that over time, because it was a point of time I was just buying beats just because I liked them in the moment, and I ended up spending like a couple hundred, maybe $1,000 on beats that I never even recorded to. So pick better beats, be cautious. After we start picking better beats, you're gonna want to start using a mic pre and tracking through light compression, like a 11-76 plugin or some type of channel strip plugin like a Manly Vox Box, a Avalon 737, or the API channel strip. It's like, I get it. You can't go to the studio. You can't afford to pay thousands and thousands of dollars on a Need 1073 or the 1176. When you go to a studio, like a professional studio, they're gonna have a mic pre, okay? The U87, the Sony mic, is going through a mic pre. And the second part of that, people go like Need 1073 into 1176 or Need 1073 or whatever preamp into like a LA2A. And they have that for light compression, not heavy compression, because we're tracking. That's going to help your vocal tape stay consistent and give you a better quality of vocal to work with when you get the mixing. Because a lot of people overlook the recording chain, all right? That's why your favorite artists are going to the studio for the recording chain. A lot of engineers now are mixing in the box. Like, they're just mixing, not using analog gear. But that's only possible because artists are recording through. They're getting, and like, the engineers are getting a vocal that is 80% done. Like, it sounds professional anyway. So if you're struggling and you're at home and you got an Apollo Twin or some type of expensive interface and microphone and you're still struggling, use your UAD console or buy one of my templates that's set up with a print track and print through it and just get a better quality vocal to work with. So now that we found a good recording chain, you know, a good mic pre, a good compressor, or a channel strip to record through, we got to work on our takes or our punch-ins. If you write, you still punch in. If you don't write, you punch in, whatever. You can do it however you choose. But no matter your mix or your master, if your takes are bad, it's just bad takes that have a good mix on them, right? It's still like, you got to be able to fix what's important, right? Everyone wants to focus on the mixing and the mastering, but they forget the most important part. You can only mix and master what you record. And a lot of people that watch my channel, they punch in. Make sure your punches are good. Make sure your timing is on point, because if your timing is off, your punches are going to be horrible, okay? Punch in. Take your time. You don't have to rush. Just because you're punching in, freestyling, or you're reading out the paper, it doesn't mean you have to rush. Take your time. And the fourth thing that can make your music sound better, stop overusing plugins. I get it. The more plugins that you got in the vocal chain thinks you got this secret sauce and people can't recreate it because you think more is better. But what if I told you less is better? Because I've seen a lot of people sell their presets on YouTube. Niggas that have 12, 15 plugins in the vocal chain, 5 compressors, 3 de-essers, 3 EQs. It's like, bro, you just doing overkill to make a person feel like they bought something of value. Because some people overuse compression and it squeezes the life out of the vocal. Learn how to use a compressor. Learn what the attack is, what the release is. Learn what the different ratios mean. And if you're struggling with muddy vocals, learn what frequency range on the EQ you can go to fix the mud, right? It's all simple things. You just learn how to use the plugins, because if you're overusing plugins, that can mess up the quality of your overall song. And the last thing that you can do to make your music sound better, people are probably gonna hate this, but I gotta say it anyway. If you struggle with either of these, if you struggle with mixing or mastering or both, let somebody else do it, okay? If you've been putting in weeks, months, years, trying to get better at mixing and mastering, and you still suck, you're still not seeing the results that you want, there's not a YouTube on earth that's going to make it better. All right. Let somebody else do it. Let somebody else take what you got, your art, and add to it. Because clearly, if you've been putting in years and you're still not satisfied, you're still not getting better, let somebody else do it. Right? You might suck at mixing. Let somebody else mix it. You might be great at mastering, but you know what I'm saying? You'll never know, right? Because you're still trying to force mixing and you're not good. Or you might be great at mixing, but you struggle when it comes to mastering and you can't just get it right. Or, you know what I'm saying? Let somebody else do it. If you want your music to sound better, sometimes you got to let other people like work with you. You got to collaborate with other people. You got to let other people do the job, right? But I understand that's going to take some maturity. That's going to take people that's not going to let their ego get in the way of their art, because I know a lot of people that watch the channel pride themselves on doing everything themselves. But on the flip of that, they only do everything themselves because they don't want to pay nobody or they can't pay nobody. But if you can pay somebody or you can cut somebody in on like a split or something, bro, just let other people do it. If you struggle with it, like only if you really, really struggle with it and you show no signs of improving, if you've been doing this for over 2 to 3 years, right? Let somebody else give it a try.